Hello, this is the second video for chapter 22. This one will be much shorter than the first video. I had to show you a few things on D2L on the last one, but now we're going to be solidly into the book, and I'll try to make this video as short as possible. After you finish this video, you want to go right into the homework. 22.2, only the first page. 22.3, only 261, that page. 22.4, only page 263, and 22.6, only page 268. That's also mentioned in D2L, but I thought I'd just go ahead and say that. I'm going to go ahead and share screen, and we're going to get right into the ebook. Okay. Let's get rid of this. All right. So now we talked about pivot chords last time. Remember, this is the beginning of modulation, and pivot chords are the chords right before this new secondary dominant or secondary seventh chord. They are diatonic in both keys. Remember, pivot chords are diatonic in both keys. So it has to be the same, if it's a G chord in both keys, not only does it have to be a G chord, it has to be a G minor chord or G major chord. It has to be the same quality of chord, okay? First thing that she does is we're thinking about in major modulating from D major to A major. And so what she does right here is she has this little chart, and she writes the notes. If you can follow my cursor, she writes all the notes of the D major scale. And then she writes all the notes of the A major scale, but she starts on D, so the letters line up vertically. And then you see between D major and its dominant A major, which is a very common place to modulate to. There are four keys that are the same. Here's your four pivot chords right here. Okay. The only note that's different between a D and A major is this G sharp, so that can't be a pivot chord because you can't have an accidental in a pivot chord. Okay, I would go ahead at this point, I would pause the video and then go down here to this try it number one and do the same thing she did up in D major, do it in A flat major and E flat major. Again, a tritone away from D, that's intentional, I am sure. Okay, so have fun with that. Take a pause. All right, now we are going to modulate from minor key to the relative major. A lot more options in minor in general, okay? Just to tell you that. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and that chart you put in D major and A major, you found four chords that would work in both. Well, look down here between A minor and its relative major, C major. There are 6 chords that are the same in both A minor and C major. So a lot more play, many more options, or not many more, 2 more for sure. We're gonna go ahead and listen to this Clara Schumann Romance. It's Opus 21, the first 8 measures. I'm going to play that again. It started midway through. Cool. That's a really nice romance by Miss Schumann there. And so she helps you out here, Clendinning. The end of the first line ends in a half cadence in A minor, and the second line ends in an authentic cadence, imperfect, but in C major. So we're definitely ending in A minor, ending in C major here. It's a very functional harmony at A minor. This second chord is a 5 chord. It kind of waits until over in mid measure to get all the chord tones. There is a secondary diminished 7th chord in the end of 3, right there. It's in first inversion. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It is in root position. It's going to the E chord right here, which is the 5 chord. So this whole last measure is E major, E7 really, because you see the D natural. So there's your half cadence. Some people go, "Ooh, there's a secondary dominant. Aren't we in a new key?" Not really, because after you do your secondary dominant or secondary seventh chord, you need to stay in that key. So we've done E7 here. Also, seventh chord isn't a tonic. That's the other part. But you go right back into the original key and measure 5. So you're back in A minor. Then when you get over here, uh, instead of in measure 6, him doing kind of this half cadence where he ends in E7, he stays in A, and then in 7, he goes to a G chord, right? And then there is another secondary dominant at the end. This is actually an A7 with the third in the bass. So it's in the new key, it's a 5 of 2. Right here in the last 3 notes, you have a 2, 5, 1 in C major. Going right back before this 2 chord, 5 chord, 1 chord, it's very common before a 2 chord to have that note as a dominant. Kind of playing with the fact that the 2 chord is a minor chord and you're flirting with the minor tonality. Okay, so again, there's your 6 chords that are the same. Go ahead and pause and do the same thing in E major / C sharp minor. And so you get all the right notes. You're in the land of 4 sharps. Go ahead and do that and then come back to the video. Okay, we're back. I just want to play one more, another example. We have some Corelli. The figured bass is already at the bottom, and I can waste a lot of time talking about it. You can figure that out. I'm just going to play it once because it's really nice. Yeah, Corelli, yeah, wonderful, wonderful composer, right in the middle of the Baroque period. So if you didn't have this figured bass to help you out, what I would say to do if you're trying to figure out the chords, look at the bass line when you have this continuo down here in the bottom. And then if it's going more stepwise, check out the big beats, beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, beat 4. Check out the downbeats, and that will start outlining harmony. The notes in the middle will be passing tones and whatnot. But when you see skips like this, those are arpeggios. So that can get you started. So that's what I would do. Yeah, you could try to figure it out from looking at the melody, but you might have some non-harmonic tones. But in this period, there aren't as many non-harmonic tones as there is later. Okay, so right here, I'm going to do this try at 3. They're asking you to go ahead and do the do a Roman numeral analysis. Saying it briefly modulates in the D minor from the original F major. I'll play the example. All right, there will be some people that will say, hey, that's just a secondary dominant going to D. And some people say, hey, we modulated for just a couple of beats. There's a music theory argument over lunch right there. It does sound like it's a pretty strong, that's pretty strong chordal movement right there. I would say for about a beat and a half, 2 beats, you kind of feel like you're in D minor. But you know, case can be made that there wasn't a whole bunch of music in D minor afterwards, because really this basically just ended up being, you know, 2 chord to 5 chord to 1 chord. All right, closely related keys. So when you're in major or minor, but right now in major, you can modulate to a few of the keys that are of the parent scale notes in your key. So again, Clendinning goes to D major, and so she writes all the notes of D major: D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, and C sharp. These notes that are bracketed right here, those are the keys that you can go to that are closely related. Okay, so D has 2 sharps. If you went to E minor only has 1 sharp. F sharp minor that has 3 sharps. It's only 1 sharp away. G major, 1 sharp, not 2 sharps, but it's closely related. A major, 3 sharps, not 2 sharps, only 1 sharp away. And then B minor, of course, is the same key signature as D major. So the typical modulations in common practice tonal music are from the primary key to a closely related key. Of course, in major, we go to the 5 the most, and minor, go to the relative major the most. But in major, those 5 keys right there, diatonically within the scale, are the places you are going to see music go. When you're in minor, it's going to be based on the 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7th notes. Okay, so you have 5 keys that are considered very closely related when you're in minor. So it's 3 through 7. Up here in major, remember it's 2 through 6, staying away from the 7th scale degree. And okay, and then here you're staying away from the 2nd scale degree. Both times, A minor, 2nd scale degree is half diminished. The 7th scale degree in major is half diminished. So that's not really a closely related key because half diminished isn't a key. Only minor and major are key. Okay, so now go ahead and start getting on to the homework. You might do a couple of these right here. If you're a good enough piano player, maybe plunking these at the piano would be a really, really good thing to do. Probably as good a thing to do as writing them out if you're doing that consistently. So that's what I would do. Do the keys that she suggests, and I think you'll have a really good handle on it. All right, I will see you in another video.